Welcome to PhysioMIMI. In this video we're going to show the power of the query browser and we're going to use it to create some data sets. So, as you know, we'll need to go to the PhysioMIMI website. And I've already logged in. So here we are, we're actually looking at the query builder. Let me see if I can make it a little bit smaller. I apologize if it's too small. There's an awful lot of information to fit on the screen. We go here by going to the query menu and I choose builder. Here we are. What we need to do is we need to decide what we're going to put into a query. PhysioMIMI will let you save a group of options that you're querying for and then reuse them later. It makes it very handy. So let's do that now. The first thing we need to do is to pick our data sources. You can imagine that you might have any number of databases configured. We only have one, so we'll just put a check mark there for our DB1, but you might have more. And now what we can do is we can start picking terms that appear in our ontologies, and we can begin to query for them over here. So let's take an example. Let's come up with some hypothetical group of people that we're interested in. For this example, we'll say that we're interested in people who, at the age of the time of the procedure, have a certain age. So let's see here. I search for what I'm looking for here, age at time of procedure. Here we go. And just for fun, we'll say that we are interested in people between, say, 50 and 70. So you see I can drag that right there. And then if I wait a second, I'm going to get my counts here. So far, there are 2,400 people who meet that criteria. I could also do disparate ranges too if I wanted. I could do anything I want here. It's very, very nice. Okay, but for now we've got people between 50 and 70, and let's also put in another criterion. Let's look for their BMI. So we wait for that to appear here. Perfect. Here's the BMI finding. We'll do a normal healthy BMI of 25 to 30. Good, and then we wait for the count to be updated. Good. So far we can see there are 2,400 people who fall in this age. There are 806 people who fall into this BMI range of 25 to 30, and then there are 707 people who overlap in those two groups. And just for fun, let's put one more criterion on here. Let's look for this apnea-hypopnea index. Let's do, well, let's find it first. We'll do AHI, and then there are going to be a bunch of choices here. So I got to find the one that I'm interested in. The one that I want, it's easy to find here because there's a little 1 after it. Do you see this? This means that there is one data source available that has this concept mapped. So I know this is the right one because this is the one that I've manually set up previously when I was choosing my data sources. So here I'll say we'll do 10 to 25 events just like this per hour. Okay, good. So I've made a nice little range. If I look over here, oh, that doesn't really seem to change in the number of people. That's interesting. Okay, so here we go. We've got a nice query, and we could keep going. You know, for any other concept that we've got mapped, we can keep on adding these. But for now, I'll just go ahead and save this. I'll call this we'll call this a demo, and let's treat this as controls, because the real power of PhysioMIMI comes later when we can set up groups, you know, for controls and cases, and we can compare them. So for now, we'll say that this group is going to be our controls group. So I'll call it demo controls, and I save my query. And it takes me over here to the query manager where I can look at this query and look at details about it. I could go to the query and look at it. I can also just jump back to my query manager here, and I can do other things with it. I'll actually come back in a minute. But the point is I have this query demo controls. Let's open it up again. And let's modify it a little bit and create our cases. The nice thing is I want to start with my controls here. I'll just add another term. For fun, we'll limit it to just males, and that will be, or maybe just females. That'll be better. And then we'll limit it to females, and then we'll call that our cases group. So we'll put in this term here, male. That was one of the ones that we had mapped earlier. I'll set false for that. And now I wait. Perfect. So there are 328 unique patrons who meet all of these criteria. So what I can do now is I can save this as a new query, and instead of calling it demo controls, I will call it demo cases. Demo cases. Perfect. Save as a new query. So that's great. So now I'm looking over here at the query manager. You can get here by the query menu and choosing manager. Perfect. So what I need to do now in order to move on is I need to generate a data set for each of these queries. Once I have generated a data set, I can begin to do investigations on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand each of these queries, and I'm going to use this option here, retrieve a new file set for exploration. So I'll do that for each one of these. We'll start with the controls. I'll generate a new file set with today's time and date, and I'll do the same thing here. Perfect. So now I have cached a data set for each of these queries, and then moving on to the next step, we'll be able to see how we can use these cached data sets to begin to do fun things. So stay with us. That'll be the next video as we go through PhysioMIMI.